Five things to look out for. The man every woman wants. 5. Just 5. Say 5. Okay. Intentional man. Jesus was intentional. The Bible says that it was necessary for him to pass through Samaria to get. He didn't have to, but some other versions say he needed to. He needed to because he needed to meet that woman. If you're going to marry someone, he has to be intentional about you. Jesus knew that meeting this woman, he could change her life, but she also had a part to play in his ministry. So if the guy is coming into your life and he's not adding any value whatsoever, you are not sure, because I hear a lot of girls say things like that. They say things like, oh, he likes me, but he's too shy to tell me. No, he doesn't like you. He likes me, but he doesn't know how to say it. No, he doesn't like you. If he has a job, it means that he went for a job interview and he was able to articulate himself during the interview and he got the job. So if he can do that to get a job, he can do that to get a wife. So he has to be intentional about you. Jesus was intentional. He could have passed a shorter route. Going through Samaria was longer, but he was intentional. He had to meet this woman. Sometimes he will make sacrifices. He will bend over backwards just to position himself in a way that you will notice him. To do nice things for you, sacrifice for you. But sometimes we make it too easy for these men because we are desperate to get married. And as they say, people know I'm going to drop one proverb, right? Let me leave it. Not too light gist. But say mouth with them say they borrow money, no waiting that they pay. So at that time when he's telling you all the I love you, sweet nothings, remember it's nothing, even if it's sweet. So you have to see, there has to be action. There has to be very clear action beyond the words. Jesus was intentional. He knew he could have passed a shorter road, but he made the sacrifice to be there. Number 2, he has to be an intelligent man. You're laughing because you know concern you make her just collecting money. Then when you go out with him and he opens his mouth, you cringe. Or when you go out with him and your friends are talking and they ask him a question, you answer for him because you know that he's going to embarrass you. This woman could have an intelligent conversation with Jesus. If you read that scripture, she was asking him intelligent questions. That, oh, so are you saying you are greater than our Father who gave us this well? Oh, the Jews say they worship on this mountain, but we think we worship here. Jesus could answer. They could talk. They could have a conversation. How are you with someone that all you do is he's touching you? If he's not removing your bra, he's removing something else. You can't have a full conversation. If you're in a relationship, I always tell people, when you're in a relationship, take money and sex off the table. You will know whether there's something really in that relationship. If every time you meet, he just starts kissing you, there's nothing there, nothing here. Nothing here. But when you're in a relationship, take money and sex off the table. You will know whether there's something really in that relationship. If every time you meet, he just starts kissing you, there's nothing there, nothing here. Nothing here. Jesus was intelligent. She could have conversations with him and he had answers. Can you ask him a question? Can you be stranded and pick up your phone and say, oh, I need to make this decision? And he can give you an answer. Because that's what you guys will do in marriage for the rest of your life. When you are single, it looks like, oh, we can talk about movies, Netflix. That's not what's going to matter at the end of the day. You will need to make serious decisions. And Jesus was willing to have conversations with her. So number 1 is what? Number 2 is what? Number 3, he must be an interesting man. Jesus said, if you know the person that is talking to you. The girl said, I want to know, man. I want to know. He said, the water that you're talking about, when you drink, you will get thirsty. But the water that I give, she said, give me this water. In her head, she has calculated husband number 7. She had 5, and the one she was with now was her 6th. So she had calculated number 7 husband. And number 7 is the number of perfection. And as Jesus was talking, something was stirring on the inside of her. I don't know about the rest of you, but intelligence is sexy. When you can have a conversation with somebody that is interesting, he has something to say. When Jesus finished talking to her, she didn't want to stand up from there. She started talking, she started asking him more questions. Oh, yeah, be going now. Either you give him water or you go. The girl was asking questions that did not concern. Say, so are you a prophet? Is that what we are saying? So he must be an interesting man. He must be someone who has something to offer you. The Bible says 2 are better than 1, for they have a good reward for their labor. That means he has to bring some labor to it. He has to be interesting. We have to be able to gist. We have to be able to laugh. We have to have conversations. So number 1 is what? Number 2 is what? Number 3 is what? Number 4, he must have a strong sense of identity. There's nothing as bad as marrying an insecure man. Listen, ladies, you must marry a man whose vision is large enough to accommodate yours. A man who understands who he is. Jesus would walk around everywhere saying, I am the bread of life. I am the good shepherd. He knew who he was. And he was comfortable. He said, you see, the reason why you are talking, I said you should give me water, you're asking me a question, is because you don't know the gift of God that is before you. He had a strong sense of identity. He knew who he was. A man that doesn't know who he is can never recognize who you are. Never. He will want to keep you small. He will want to make you inferior. I had a friend when I was in university. She got married while we were in school. So she got married in her second year. Or I don't even know if, I think maybe she was married. No, she was married before she came into school. Yeah, she was married before she came into school, Ife. And this girl was very intelligent. But every time we had a test, for some reason she was absent. Because she had to go home every weekend. Her husband lived in Lagos. We schooled in Ife. She had to go home every weekend. And the real reason why she had to go home every weekend was the man wasn't comfortable enough to leave her in school, because he's wondering what she's doing over the weekend. An insecure man. And any time they have a misunderstanding, if he says something to her and she answers, he's like, oh, because he didn't go to university. He's like, oh, so you think you know more than me? You're not going back to school, so he will lock her in the house. This girl finished with a 3rd class. Not because she wasn't intelligent, but she married a man who refused to allow her fly because he was insecure. So marrying a man that is insecure is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Jesus was very confident. She said, how can you, a Jew, ask me? Jesus said, you don't even know what we're talking about. You are still talking Jew. I'm saying you need to understand the gift of God. He must be a man that can sell himself to you. He must be comfortable in his own skin. You shouldn't intimidate him. Because you will do great things. You're called to do great things. So if you marry a man who doesn't want to do great things, guess what? Go press you. So the first thing is what? He must be. Second thing is he must be. Third thing he must be. Fourth thing he must be. He must have strong identity. And the last one, he must be a man who is invested in you. A man who is invested in bringing out the best in you. When I got married to Pastor K, I will still say it, beef me all you want. What's And when you marry your own, when you collect my, come and say your own. So I'm going to say it again. When I got married to Pastor K, what people? So when I met Pastor K, when we got married, I used to be very shy. I know a lot of people don't believe that now. I used to be very shy. I would die first and to stand on a stage like this in front of people. Why? What's happening? I would die first. So when we got married, I had this plan, right? I saw that this guy had great potential. He had the charisma, the looks, and the personality to be on TV, to drive whatever he wanted to do. He wanted to write books. I was willing to write those books. Just hide somewhere in the corner and write the books. He had a church that was thriving. I knew that if I brought in some extra excellence to it, that we would do better. I just had this huge plan that I was just going to stand behind him and be hidden away and be doing great things. I felt like I wanted to be like salt. You don't see salt, but when you put salt in food, you know that it has effect. So I came on board to be salt in his life. But along the line, Pastor K kept saying to me, "You're too powerful to stand behind me. I need you to stand beside me." I would say, "Oh, you people like love too much. That's your problem. Pay attention to what I'm teaching you." But there was something about the fact that he saw potential in me. He knew that if he put the right amount of love, guidance, grooming, training, that I would be a better version of myself. So I remember the first time Pastor K got me to preach. We're sitting in church, and so he had preached. Then it used to be 2 services or 3 services. I can't remember. I think it was 3 services. And Pastor K had preached first service, and then he turns over, just the way he's sitting beside Hassan, he turns over to his side and says, "You're preaching second service." I'm like, "Oh, what's that one? What's preaching second service? What's that now? Stop." He said, "No, I'm serious." I say, "Stop, jokes. What preaching was? What do I want to go and say?" He said, "Say what I said in first service." I say, "No, I cannot say what you said in first service. I have to hear God. I have to study." I have to say, "Okay, you better study quickly because second service, you're preaching second service." I was like, "No, this is not happening. It's not possible." I thought it was joking. I was like, "It's not possible, Joe. Pastor K is playing. He's always playing. Everybody knows Pastor K plays. There's no way." So after first service, Pastor K was just sitting outside. So they came to tell me that it's time for second service for the person preaching God. I was like, "Yes, now Pastor K is outside. Go and tell him." So they go to him and they say, "Pastor K, it's time for you to go up." He said, No, Pastor M is preaching." So they come back to me and say, "Pastor K says you are preaching and choir is already singing." I'm like, "No." No, he's joking. So I go to him and he says, "Oh, you don't see me playing. I'm playing. I'm not coming in. I'm playing." I'm like, "You can't play. You can't. It's God's work. You can't. Do you understand? You can't. Wait. Why are you doing like this? Wait." I tried everything. Unfortunately, I know that most people, their husbands have mumu button. My own has a malfunction. No matter what you do, tears don't move him. Batting your eyes don't move him. Promising him food doesn't move him. Pastor K will do exactly what he wants to do. So I tried everything. "Honey, me, do you want to disgrace me? You want to embarrass me?" I say, "We have no reputation for Jesus. Go up, nothing." And as he was saying, "Time is going. Go and get your thoughts together." And so I went up. Honestly, I have no idea what I preached that day. But I learned a huge lesson. To be instant in season and out of season, because if he has done it once, he will do it again. And that's exactly what he did. So he started doing that. He would just say, "Honey, tomorrow I don't feel like preaching. Will you preach tomorrow?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "Do you want me to tell you now? You want me to tell you tomorrow?" And I'll just go adjust myself. And because he put that much effort into, and I would finish preaching and he would come and tell me, "Oh, that was rubbish. Why didn't you add this? Why didn't you add?" I'm like, "You can't even encourage me." It's like, I'm not your cheerleader. I'm your coach. And at the time, it was painful. I'm not even going to lie. It was painful. I didn't feel like he was a good husband at the time. It was very annoying, always having to struggle with these things. In fact, even learning how to drive. Pastor K dealt with me in this life. I learned how to drive, but I like to be driven. I don't know about the rest of you, but I just like this. Like, you guys know, right? I want to just sit down in the car and bring out a book and everybody's driving me around. I don't know. I mean, that princess life is just for me. God. So Pastor K realized that this girl, she wants to turn me to a driver, and it's not going to happen in this marriage. So one midweek service, Wednesday evening, I got ready upstairs, taking my pretty time, make myself beautiful to be carried like a princess, painting my face, doing everything. Then I come downstairs and I don't see Pastor K. And I pick up my phone. I'm like, honey, where are you? It's time for service. He says, oh, I'm already in church. Drive down. Guys, I didn't even know where the light was in the car. Do you understand? Because I used to drive in the afternoon, so I didn't even know where to turn on the light. So I prayed in tongues all the way, saying, the Lord is my light and my salvation. The Lord is my light and my salvation. I will not have an accident. And I got to church and I was so mad at him. I don't think I heard anything he preached. And he said to me, that has freed you now. And then he now signed me up for a training. Then we used to live in Festac, and signed me up for a training in Ikeja. See, when you're driving Festac, those, at least you can just drive small, just go down the road. Express. Lagos Express is a different driving. First of all, there are no driving rules in Nigeria. We all know that. Then, all the way to Ikeja in the morning. So there's rush hour, everything. Pastor says, so how will you, and he'll be so innocent about it, so how will you get to school? I'm like, I don't understand. How will you get to school now? Because I'm not standing up from here, so how do you want to get to school? So I will carry myself and drive my driving. When it came to trusting God for children, and I'm trying to show you, when a man is invested in you, he will need to sometimes take tough decisions. So I always tell people, don't just marry a man who spoils you. Marry a man who pampers you, right? But don't marry a man who spoils you. Because I know a lot of women who have made terrible mistakes in their lives because their husband doesn't like to see them cry. If I correct her, she cries. So what? Babies cry, they don't die. Crying never killed anybody. So if you tell her the truth, I think that's the problem Adam had with Eve. Because the Bible says that Adam was right there. He was right there. He could have told her, would you leave that place and move away from there? He was right there when she was talking to Satan. And Satan said, smell the fruit, she smelled it. He said, touch the fruit, she touched it. He said, taste the fruit, she licked it. Then he said, why don't you just take a bite? And Adam was right there. That was a good time to hit it from her hand and say, don't do that rubbish. She ate it. And then maybe she say, I'm eating it now, Adam. Only me. So do you only me to take the consequences? Take a bite now. Adibo. And Adam said, you know what? I really don't want her to cry. So he just takes, and as he's about to take a bite, she now pushes the whole thing in and he has an Adam's apple. Yes. That's my version. It's not in the Bible, but it's my version. We are all in this problem today because Adibu couldn't tell Eve to drop the fruit. It's so hot. You'd have been walking around naked today. But look what she did to all of us. Because Adibu didn't tell Eve to put down the fruit. Marry a man who's invested in you. Invested enough to tell you the truth. Invested enough to train you. Invested enough to pray for you. Yes. Because a lot of men don't pray for their wives. There's nothing, I don't know, well, let me not say for other people, but there's nothing as romantic as a man. You wake up in the morning and your husband is praying in tongues over you. You just turn and continue into other spiritual things. So a man that is invested. When we're trusting God for children, and God had told me that I needed to use my faith to have my babies. And of course, I wanted the shortcut, so I would go to the hospital. And then God did a lot of dramatic things. But, that's not how God wants to lead us. God has to do a lot. I'm sure I've shared the story here for those who attend Holy Hill. But at some point, I remember there was one particular day. I think that day I think that's the day that really upset me. I was bleeding so badly. And I was in so much pain. I was downstairs. I couldn't climb up the stairs, so I was downstairs. Pastor K comes down, sees me, they're in pain, bleeding, everything. And he says, wait, I'm coming. Then I'm thinking that my knight in shiny armor was coming to rescue me, lift me up, which he has never done, by the way. Even at our wedding, lift me up and take me to the hospital. And he comes back with 2 books. 2 small Kennehagen books. How to write your ticket with God and hear and be healed. And he gave me those 2 books. And he said, take. Study them. And then he went upstairs and slept. Snored loudly. I thought about my life that day. I said, this man, no. I don't think this man is a Christian. Talk less of pastor. No, I don't think so. How can you not have human feeling? Because compassion is English. Human feeling. You don't have. And so Pastor K went to bed. He didn't think much of it. Woke up in the morning, asked me if I was okay. I said yes. So you use your faith, right? See, faith is the only way to get you out of this situation and moved on with his life. And the truth is that challenged me. Honestly, it did. And then I started studying the word for myself. And after consistently studying the word, confessing the word, then today I have 3 children without medical intervention, just by faith. Now, my husband could have given me sympathy. He could have cuddled me, but I don't think I would have been angry enough to fight my way out of that situation. So there's decisions that your husband or the man that you want to marry will take that will show you that this man is invested in you. May not be the way you want it. Because when that woman met Jesus at the well, you see, the other people, and I close with this, the other men that she had met either saw her as a baby mama, a cook, a body to warm their bed, many other things. But Jesus saw that this woman had the potential to be an evangelist. He spoke to her, and she ran back into the city, and the entire village followed her back to hear Jesus. So that one woman, Jesus invested in that one woman, and she was able to win an entire city. That means that thing was always there. In the hands of the wrong man, you will never fulfill your potential. Never. This woman was always an evangelist. Nobody else saw it except the man who was invested in her. He saw her. When he had conversations with her, he saw that this girl is intelligent. Look at the kind of questions she's asking. He didn't say shut up. He answered those questions. And when he told her something that sparked up something inside her, the Bible says she left the thing she came with. She came to fetch water. She left her pot and ran into the city and changed the lives of other people. When they came out, they said to her, we believed first because of what you said, but we have seen for ourselves. We believe because of what he's doing now. Listen, your relationship should change people's lives. Marriage is a ministry. It's never going to be about just you and that person. Remember what I said before. It's for God, for kingdom, and for duty. Were you blessed?